Okay, this is the second video that I'm doing on the Stone HS720 drone. This is the second drone that I've tried. I returned the first one in the first video to the manufacturer, and they went ahead and sent me a replacement, so that's good. However, I still notice the same behavior, and that is when the aircraft is receiving a yaw input to rotate, it still has some lateral movement. I calibrated the compass real well before this flight. I calibrated it prior to the other flights, and that didn't seem to really make a difference either way. And this aircraft is a little bit better than the one that I sent back. This one is somewhat predictable in what it's going to do, but it still doesn't hold its lateral position very well. And then I've got a Mavic Air 2 that I'll also show as a comparison, kind of is what I would expect the drone to behave with that kind of input. You can see it's not very windy at all, better than when I made the first video. Even though that was light winds then, it's light winds now. Same backyard, just looking a little bit different angle to keep the sun out of our eyes a little bit. And I realize the comparison isn't really fair, an $800 drone versus about a $300 drone. But regardless, for a couple $100, I would expect the drone to be able to hold its position laterally, which it hasn't been able to do. So let's get started. Okay, up we go. Try a different angle here. Take a look this way. So you can see I've got 19 satellites, I think. So everything should be pretty good. We'll give it a full stick left here, and you can see how it. Take a look at it there. You can see that it's rotating in a small circle. I would say that's, 5 or 6 foot circumference circle. But regardless, it's not terribly reliable. And then when I let go of the control, it seems to take a minute to figure out where it wants to be. So I'm going to move it over this way a little bit. I'm gonna actually bring it towards us a little bit here and down. All the other controls seem to work okay. It's just this rotation issue. I'll go the other way. And the problem is that it makes any kind of tight maneuvering kind of unpredictable and not very pleasant to use. So so anyways, that's the behavior of this drone. Go ahead and land her. And then we'll swap out for this drone, which again, obviously an $800 drone should do everything better than a $300 drone, but I would expect it at minimum to rotate with no issue. So we'll get this one up in the air and I'll show you what I kind of expect. Okay, so there we go. And I'm just going to do the same exercise where I'll give it full left stick, and other than making the collision sensors unhappy about its altitude, you can see it pretty much holds its position. It's right over that box where we started. We'll do the same thing. We'll go to the right. You can see it corrects itself a little bit, but regardless, that's what I would expect. Paying for a drone $300 or $800 or $8,000. I'd expect it to behave like that because that makes it easier to control in tighter circumstances. So unfortunately, there's not much that I'm going to be able to do with this Stone drone. Obviously, it's something in the design of the unit that makes it behave like that.